in any type of case, in particular in BAH or OHA cases, overconfidence really can be a problem. Don't be overconfident that the system's just going to work. Don't be overconfident that you are not going to be criminally charged because you did what someone at finance told you to do. Where I typically see this is when someone PCSs to Korea on unaccompanied orders. So they'll get to Camp Humphrey, they'll get to Daegu, they'll get to Osan, wherever it happens to be. Then you go through an in-processing brief. In these in-processing briefs, you will sit in a large room, and they're painful if you've been through them. And someone will, either a CATUSA or a service member or a civilian, will walk up and down the aisles, hand you papers. You'll have to pass them to the left, and they'll tell you how to fill these out, in particular the start-stop BAH form. And what they will typically say is just list where your family members are living or where they're going to live. And maybe you were planning on moving your family to New York, and something fell through and they stayed at your old duty location for whatever reason. Maybe the house didn't sell, whatever reason, something changed. Or maybe you're saying, well, my family will be moving to New York in a couple of weeks or a month. And you list, and you did what the finance or the CATUSA told you to do, is list where they're going to be living. What you've done is inadvertently filled out a false official statement, because in the start-stop BAH form, it asks where they're presently living. So don't be overconfident to say, oh, well, at the in-processing brief at 1RC, I did what they told me to do. Well, that's not going to work, because you're never going to find the person that gave you the brief. They're never going to testify that that occurred. And the obligation is on you as the signatory and as the service member to make sure it's accurate. So being overconfident can be the kiss of death, because what happens is you're so overconfident that you're receiving the right amount. Every month you continue receiving BAH that you're not entitled to. And what turns into a $3,000 or $6,000 overpayment a year later turns into a $36,000 felony level larceny. So we've gone from something that you can pretty easily unwind and explain to something now we're defending at a court martial. So overconfidence is a really bad thing. And so the other piece of it is, don't get used to the money. And what I mean by that is, maybe your family member was going to move to New York and they changed their mind. And now you've got the extra $4,000 a month and you're really enjoying buying all the soju kettles you can drink out in the Ville and out in the Sed. Well, guess what? Enjoy the soju kettles while you can, because you're probably going to be in prison in the next year. And I can tell you one thing, at the confinement facility, they don't serve soju kettles there. So don't get used to the extra money. If you know you shouldn't be receiving it, make sure you get it corrected. And if there was any type of fraud that was involved, do it through an attorney.